ad blockers, and I look at something like the web browsers now, like Brave browser, which I recommend. It's a great browser, really fast. You should use it. It's got a couple of things going for it. So it has this Bitcoin system whereby if a website content creator is signed up to receive Bitcoin, you can send them Bitcoin through the browser, through Brave. Pretty clever. And it's a way of getting around the fact that, so on Brave, it has an ad blocker built in, right? Which is great, so you don't see ads. But I think this is the situation here that kind of reminds me a little bit of where the music industry went. So there was this big panic over people downloading music in the, I suppose, the late 90s and that, early 90s. People wanted music on MP3s. And, you know, the whole Napster fiasco, I guess. And the industry was like, no, buy CDs. Right? But no, we want to have tens of thousands of MP3s on our hard drives. And I don't want stacks and stacks of your old media CDs. So there was piracy for the longest period of time. Obviously that's still going on, but the industry eventually caught on to the fact that there are people who are willing to pay for music. And so before too long, iTunes was born, and now we have Pandora and Spotify and all these kind of things. So the point is, the technology and I suppose the culture is about trying to keep up with the culture. Where is it going at the moment? Advertising online is moving towards, despite demonetizations and all that, and I definitely want politics taken out of the advertising, but it's moving more towards less advertising because people will use ad blockers, and I think they have the right to do that. But what if you gave people the option, the same way that you gave them the option with the music? I can't remember who the band was a few years ago. I think they were a British band, maybe you can tell me. They gave away their album for free. Was it Radiohead? I'm not sure. They gave their album away for free. Are Radiohead American? I don't even know. I'll have to look that up. So I don't know who it was, but they gave their album away for free, and then they said to people, if you want, you know, just pay us what you think the album's worth. Which I think probably you'll earn more money that way. It's less likely you'll probably be pirated. Now, the difference between music and advertising is that people wanted the music and they don't want the ads. But what if there was this system in the future? So you're watching a video or you're reading a blog, you're on a website, and you get a message at some point, and it says, you know, you're halfway through the video, at the end of the video, whatever it is, something that's not too intrusive. You just get a message that says, we noticed you're using an ad blocker. No biggie, you know, we're not going to persecute you for this, which at the moment if people use ad blockers are, you know, put on the naughty step, you know, and I don't think they should be. Instead, you're invited to disable it temporarily. So in other words, hit this button, it'll disable it, and you can watch an ad if you wish to support this content creator. If not, just hit no. Would you like to support this content creator? And the reason I say this is, so there's people who will support content creators on systems like Patreon or Minds, but there's other people who don't have the means to support people. Well, they can support a content creator for free by watching an ad and by choosing to watch the ad. If they feel that the content creator is worth it, all I have to do is click a button and it temporarily disables the ad blocker for that particular creator, and then when the ad is over, it goes back on again. So you'll see an ad, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever it is, and the longer the ad is, the more, and maybe it's like a tipping system almost. You get to select how long the ad you watch, and the longer it is, the more revenue is sent to the content creator. 10 cent, 20 cent, 30 cent, whatever it might be. It all adds up. And so wouldn't that be better? It doesn't cost the viewer anything, except seconds, a minute maybe, and that's it. Nothing came out of their bank account. They didn't have to pay anything. Doesn't that make more sense? I don't expect ads to fully go away online, but there has to be a more eloquent solution than what we have at the moment, because it's spammy, it's intrusive, it's annoying, and it just gets in the way of the experience of using the internet. But I think if you gave people the option, if they really believe in the content creator, they might get on board with it. Would that be something that you would agree with? Or do you think, nah, bullshit, don't want to see any ads at all? Or if it was like, it was an option to help people, what do you think? I don't know. But the other thing I'll say is the ads, you know, one thing we've been learning with Google's AdSense, there's been no, you know, so we have these pre-roll ads that are literally just the video of, they're just television commercials. So television is not an interactive medium. It's just passive media consumption. But the internet is interactive. You can do stuff with it, right? The user can get involved. It would be more profitable if organizations understood this. Maybe advertising needs to be gamified to a certain extent. It's like, well, if you click yes, there's more of an incentive for you to get involved. There's a game of some kind which helps to advertise the company, but at the same time there's some value and entertainment for the user. Just an idea. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the future of advertising? Whether we like it or not, it's a necessary evil. It's not really going anywhere, but hopefully it can be reformed online somehow. We can make it more palatable for people. Something should be done, but I definitely think that more and more people are going to be using ad blockers and browsers that block automatically, and I think that we should not fight that. I don't think the industry should be fighting those people. I think it should be trying to win them over in a different way by instead pushing them away, embracing them, saying, okay, we recognize you're using an ad blocker, that's absolutely fine, and then kind of ask them this question. Might be a better way of doing it, because you might get much greater participation. Because again, if you just keep pushing people away and trying to demonize them for using it, you've lost them forever. And I think that's the industry, that's the mistake that the industry is making right now. What are your thoughts? Let me know, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hello there, it is Tuesday the 3rd of October 2017. It's time now for more regressive news, and we begin with a story from University of California, Riverside. A student by the name of Edith Macias stole the Make America Great Again hat of a fellow student, Matthew Vitale. There is a video clip doing the rounds online from Campus Reform. Let's roll it.
Really, look at the kind of shit he's wearing. You know what this represents? This represents genocide. Genocide.
The Make America Great Again hat represents genocide. She's going to say this several times. Apparently, Trump is massacring, killing people of color all over America. It's the first that I've heard of it. Where is this happening? No evidence required. Listen and believe.
This is mine. This is mine. You do not get to take other people's property that is legally theirs in this country.
Man, fuck your laws.
Fuck your laws, eh? Yeah. Your rights to freedom of expression end where my feelings begin. Seems to be the attitude here.
It does not matter. I have a freedom of speech to wear this hat.
Your fucking freedom of speech is genocide, homeboy.
Where is this happening? What are you talking about? It's really terrifying, the power of the mainstream media. Yeah, to motivate people to believe these things with no evidence, and then when you challenge them on it and you ask them to back it up, they'll do what they did when Sargon challenged that communist at Berkeley. They just, where is it happening? And then hand the megaphone back to someone and start chanting. Because, you know, comfort in repetition, you know, the same messages going round and round and round, just keep repeating the mantra, and maybe you'll start to believe the lie after a while. If only they'd engage the grey matter, if only they would think in a critical way, if only we could engage the Socratic method, but you're dealing with people who've been programmed, like robots. It's garbage in, garbage out, unfortunately.
No.
Look at this.
Let's calm down.
Make America great again? It was never fucking great. Never.
I find it painful to hear her say America was never great, particularly when she clearly doesn't appreciate the freedoms that she has. I would love if Ireland had a First Amendment, for example. That would be fantastic. That's something that America enjoys, at least, you know, right now, until the left definitely wants to do something about that, let me tell you. But, of course, she's approaching this from the revisionist point of view with respect to the history of America, that America was built on the backs of slavery, white supremacist capitalist patriarchy, and all that kind of stuff, and that it was never good for people of color, despite the fact that more white people fought and died to end slavery than ever engaged in it, but we'll just omit that fact.
Get out, honestly, if you
What
don't
do you
like the
mean
country.
get out? I was
Get
born
out.
here. We're born
Jeez. Look, he has a point. You are complaining a lot about the country at a foundational level, not just in recent years with Trump and everything. Obviously, you're not happy. I mean, it's your choice if you wish to leave. If you don't like America, you could emigrate. But then again, if you were to do that, then you would obviously have to... She'd probably move to a country that she would then be red-pilled, because she'd move to some communist utopia that obviously she's been told is so fantastic. Move to Venezuela, for example, and realize it really is shit and come straight back to America, getting a dose of reality. It's easy to complain. That's how you know that you're not in some sort of authoritarian shithole. You have the freedom to complain about how great the country actually is.
Country that you
How about we
apparently love
actually-
so much.
No, I
supports
really
freedom
don't.
of
Though. I
speech.
fucking hate this country.
That's why I say leave.
I hate it, and I'm not
That's
leaving.
why I say
I'm
leave.
staying here because there's shit that needs to be fixed here, so that's why I'm staying.
And there you have it. She says she hates the country. She hates America. She hates the fact that other people have the right to freely express themselves, a foundational principle of the United States Constitution: freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of association. And this man is expressing his political opinion. He's wearing his hat. And of course, if other people can express themselves freely, well, obviously that means that they can challenge your ideology. Can't have that.
Okay, then you
Alright.
don't. But you don't fix it by
Because we
breaking the
need
laws.
to get rid of all y'all.
But we don't.
She's the one complaining that there's a genocide happening. I don't know where these concentration camps are that Trump has set up, apparently. If you'd like to tell me which state they're in. Right, apparently people of color are being massacred by Trump. Somewhere. And she's the one who says, we need to get rid of y'all. We need to get rid of y'all. Mm-hmm.
Fuck your fucking freedom of speech, boy. Fuck it.
I don't care what you have to say.
Fuck it, because your freedom of speech is literally killing a lot of people out there. That's what it is. Because you're out there wearing hats like these that promote laws and legislations that literally kill and murder in the masses.
Really?
People of color. Yeah, and fuck you for talking to me like
Really?
that, boy. We're so lucky we're in a university.
We are lucky.
Yeah, we are.
We are
Because if we
lucky.
were out of here, I swear to God.
She's just said that that hat kills people. The hat can kill by being worn. We had aggressive sitting before, remember at VidCon? Now we have aggressive wearing. Really scary thing here, the tragic thing, it's almost heartbreaking, is that young people like this, there's many millions of them, there's people like that in my own country, they don't know what it is they're saying or what they're advocating for. And so she wants the state to come in and legislate for other people's speech, not realizing that's exactly what the state wants. And ultimately, that will be used as a weapon to silence her speech. She doesn't realize. Okay, if she shuts somebody down, let's say she advocates to shut down Milo, okay, you are preventing someone else from hearing what he has to say. You're infringing upon other people's rights.
Because you know what, out there, in the premises of the university, I deal with microaggressions on the daily, as do other people of color.
I deal with microaggressions on the daily. Oh my God. Gee, this woman has clearly been very selfish. She's drank all the Kool-Aid and left none for anybody else. So, dealing with microaggressions on the college campus, when they come towards you, what you're supposed to do is remain perfectly still, don't move, and then they'll fly around you. Maybe they might land on you, but they'll fly away. So long as you remain perfectly still, they will not sting you. Is that microaggressions or bees? I think it's one or the other. Anyway, I don't know how it ended. I hope you got his hat back. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. At any rate, delightful person to run into on a college campus. Let's move on to the next story. So now we've learned that hats are a form of violence. Of course, we already knew that words were a form of violence. Professor who critiqued radical feminism accused of promoting violence, targeted for termination. There's a chorus of demands to fire Boise State University professor Scott Yainer in the wake of an article he wrote on the role of radical feminism in emerging pro-transgender trends that undermine parental rights. A petition calling for the political science professor's termination accused him of promoting an ideology of violence. Some students and others in the campus community also called for Yenner to be fired, including in school newspaper op-eds and in posters hung around campus. And at a campus debate held September 25th, Some at the forum suggested Yenner's work amounted to hate speech and should be banned according to an audio recording of the event. At issue is an article he wrote for Daily Signal titled "Transgender Activists Are Seeking to Undermine Parental Rights," in which he argues that radical feminists aspire to revolutionize society in part by eliminating gender differences and erasing sexual taboos. After their recent victory with same-sex marriage, Yenner argues radical feminists have set their sights on infringing upon parental rights to let children decide their gender with government intervention and support. This is correct because in Canada, I don't know how far this legislation is going in America, although I'm sure this stuff spreads like wildfire, like a virus everywhere. But Bill 89 in Canada and similar Safer Schools program in Australia, if you don't let your very, very young child transition, the state will basically seize your kids. It's true, it's happening. Transgender rights activists are seeking to abridge parental rights by elevating the independent choices of young children. Respecting the sexual and gender choices of ever younger children erodes parental rights and compromises the integrity of the family as an independent unit. Isn't that always the way? Basically make the state the form of the parental unit instead. There exists no better way of extending the sexual revolution that second wave feminists imagined than by shaking confidence in the very idea of man and woman. According to the report, transgender theories are part of the feminist goal of a sexual revolution that eliminates the proprietary family and celebrates non-monogamous sexual experiences. And of course, like all good wrong-think witch hunts, it began with an online petition to fire him and got 2,000 signatures. Oh, and people call him a neo-Nazi. Extraordinary. How original. Now, to Yenner's credit, he has stood by exactly what he said and refused to apologize, which is exactly the right way to go. For his part, he said he was surprised at the reaction, disappointed and sad, noting there was a lot of name-calling and little in the way of civil arguments. Freedom of speech is really connected to the issue of viewpoint diversity, he said. When 99% of the faculty is thinking a particular way, they reproduce themselves through new faculty members and you get less viewpoint diversity on campus. He stood by his scholarly work. I'm very proud of the longer report I wrote for Heritage. It asked a question that hadn't been asked before. If you give feminists everything they wanted, what would the world look like? Final story of the day. Heterosexual Clemson students encouraged to find a same-sex partner in questionnaire. Heterosexual students at Clemson University are being encouraged to take on a same-sex partner as part of a questionnaire distributed by PhD candidate and course instructor Tracy Hefner. The questionnaire, which was an attempt to help heterosexual Clemson students understand what it's like to be gay, was handed out to students in the Sociology of Sex and Gender course. The course, which is offered within the criminal justice concentration, seeks to provide students with a better understanding of ethics and diversity in the field. What? Hang on. What has that got to do with criminal justice? It almost sounds like someone has just assimilated that course with social justice and forcing it upon students against their will. The criminal justice program was restructured in 2016 to add 9 credit hours of social justice themed coursework. When and how did you first decide you were a heterosexual? I want to ask Mother Nature that one. The questionnaire asks, is it possible that your heterosexuality is just a phase you will outgrow? Is it possible that your heterosexuality stems from bad experiences with people of the same sex? If you've never been sexually or romantically involved with a person of the same sex, is it possible that all you need is a good same-sex partner? It continues. How can you become a whole person if you limit yourself to heterosexuality and fail to develop your natural, healthy, homosexual potential? The questionnaire continues. What universe am I living in? I want off the rocket ship now. Would you want your children to be heterosexual, knowing the problems they'd face? Of course, as we know, the left engages in the oppression Olympics, which means that if you're the minority with respect to any categorization, if you're a woman in a room full of guys, you're oppressed just because you're a woman. Not because you're actually oppressed, or that they're oppressing you anyway, just because you're the only woman in the room. Same if you're the only black person in a room full of white people, if you're the only gay person in a room full of straight people. We're always going to have outliers in nature, but it's kind of hard for a species to propagate itself if homosexuality was the norm, so to speak. The questionnaire then shames heterosexuals for having too many children, of course, because this entire thing is against the nuclear family by the looks of things. Considering the global problem of overpopulation, why are heterosexuals so careless about having children? Another exercise given to the students makes the case that heteronormativity hurts LGBTQ persons. which suggests that the fact that heterosexual people exist, and would obviously have to be the majority, the fact that they exist at all is an affront to LGBTQ people? How is that not heterophobic? The document does not consider that heteronormativity derives from the reality that the majority of Americans are heterosexual. One Clemson student complained that the exercise was irrelevant to the study of criminal justice. No